A very good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America on Wednesday, January 4th, 2015. And this is Live Talk. I'm Blessing Zulu.
And I'm Gibbs Dube. Apparently is February 4th, 2015. Yes.
Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I'm Gibbs Dube.
And of course, tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about cancer.
To join the discussion, phone us directly at this number, 001-202. I'll take that number again. 001-202-619-2077.
Of course, Live Talk goes out to Zimbabwe on our 909 medium wave frequency and on the 4930, 5940 and 15455 kilohertz shortwave, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m.
And on the internet, you can find us at www.voazimbabwe.com, www.voashona.com, and www.voindebele.com.
Chirwere ichi kutanga kwacho handina kuziva kuti ikenza. Pakatanga paine kalambu pazamu. Kandaingogona kufila kuti mune kanhu kari mukati kanongonzeka kuti gudu mukati.
There's a range of symptoms, signs and symptoms. Some, it may not be cancer at all, but important to get a child checked out. Very important if you see a white in the eye of a child, very important to take them to the nearest healthcare facility, clinic, hospital. Other symptoms can be personality change, unexplained bruises, fatigue, paleness to the skin, lumps and bumps, etc.
Bezokuba nomhlobo ye-cancer kuthiwa yi-family familial ezenzakala ku-families because they are linked to esingayibiza i-genetic defect engabi khona kuleyo family. So there are certain types of cancers that will come from grandfather to grandmother and to children and great-grandchildren and so forth. So lezo azikwazi ukuzivikela, but ungakwazi ukuthi you are at risk of getting those treatments. Kwenza ukuthi ukuvika wakhona yikuthi uphakame early nxa kuthi kunento oyibonayo uthole usizo early so that uthole ukunyangwa early.
Once again, thanks for joining us. And this is Studio 7 Live Talk. And tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about cancer.
Zimbabwe and the international community today commemorated the World Cancer Day for 2015 with campaigns to increase awareness and risk reduction of the terminal disease. Yearly, February 4th is dedicated to raising awareness of cancer and encouraging its prevention, detection, and treatment.
Cancers are among the leading causes of death worldwide, with approximately 14 million new cases and 8.2 million cancer-related deaths in 2012. But thanks to breakthrough in research and treatment, cancer survival rates have doubled in the last 40 years.
What do you think about this issue? If you wish to join the discussion right now, phone us directly at this number, 001-202-619-2077, and we'll call you back. That number again, 001-202-619-2077. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp. Our number is 1-202-465-0318. Ye, kunjani mfowethu?
Wonguka hama dzadiwa nhasi izuva rekucherechedza chirwere chegomarara kana kuti chekenza, apo pasi rose rinobatana mukukurudzira kuti vanhu vange vaine ruzivo nezvechirwere chegomarara. Chirwere ichi chikakurumidza kuonekwa naana mazvikokota kana kuti naana chiremba chinokwanisa kuti chinge chichirapika, asi kana chikaera chakomba zvinenge zvinotinetsei. Nekudaro nhasi tira kuti tinge tichiita dzidziso iyoyi yekuti vanhu vazivewo nezvechirwere chegomarara, icho chanetsa zvikuru munyika dzakawanda. Gibbs.
Yebo kambe mthwakazi kandaba Zulu kandaba lijona njani kulapho lapha likhona thina ngapha lo blessing hayi siyaphila sibile kwamagama. Ye udaba esixoxa ngalo namhlanje sikhuluma ngomkhosi wokukankasela ukuthi kunqotshwe umkhuhlane wemvukuzane. Ilanga leli ke kuthiwa yi-World Cancer Day. Siyakwazi ukuthi ke ngonhlolanja nxa usithi mhla ka-4 kwenziwa yonke iminyaka. So ke okulwisana lakho lapha ukuthi nxa ukuthi ucabangela ukuthi le cancer kwamele ukuthi uyebona udokotela kusemasinyane ukuze ukuthi bekwelaphe phela usile. Ye siyakwazi ukuthi ke bayacabangela phela ingcedi bathi kukhanya ngazani abantu abayi 14 million bajale ukuthi babe kuthiwa bale cancer. And khonapho ke ngabe kukhangelwa kulabantu abayi 8.2 million ababulawa umkhuhlane lowo, kumbe ngithi ababulawa umkhuhlane lowo ngo-2012. So ke kukhanya ngazani ke kodwa labo abakhanya besenza ukuthiwa i-research sebebona ukuthi hayi i-cancer iyelapheka, njalo ke kuqhubekela phambili ukuthi bekuphande khonokho ukuthi bebona ukuthi kungaphetha ngani. So ke ngenani kuhlelo kuna manje sixoxeni Zulu kaNdaba. Nasi inombolo lifone kanye cellphone lakhona ngapho. Inombolo zithi 001 202 619 2077. Kunjalo mfowethu.
For those of you who are just joining us, of course, tonight on Live Talk, we are going to talk about cancer. Of course, the Zimbabwe Cancer Registry says that the most common cancers among black men indicate that Kaposi sarcoma incidents are at 20.3% and declining, in a trend that oncologists say would be largely due to the introduction of life prolonging drugs such as ARVs, which have slowed down HIV and AIDS deaths. And of course, in addition, statistics among black men show that the cancer, so the incidence of cancer of the prostate are at 15.5%. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma is at 8.9%. Esophagus 5.7%. Eye cancer 5%. Liver cancer 4.7%. Non-melanoma of skin cancer 4.5%. Stomach cancer 3.6%. Lung cancer 3%, and 2.3% for colon cancer. This is Gibbs is from the Zimbabwe Cancer Registry. Of course, these statistics are from last year, that is 2014. And I think from what we are reading, there is indeed need for an awareness campaign, Gibbs.
So it appears as if the World Health Organization Blessings is actually launched what is called a global cancer country profile kind of issue on cancer. So at the end of the day, they are trying to say all the communicable diseases should be tackled in certain ways. So Zimbabwe is one of the countries that has got some high statistics in terms of cancer blessing, but it appears as if, the problem that is there is on getting access to medication. And many of these cancer survivors always say they spend a lot of money trying to, get some treatment. So today we actually, Blessing, we ran a story. There is a person in Manicaland who said, he spent a lot of money, going for chemotherapy. And at the end of the day, there is a family, the Mtezo family. Mr. Munacho Mtezo was the deputy energy minister. He actually donated some money to the gentleman Nyakunike. So at the end of the day, the family was so happy because whenever you're afflicted by this kind of disease, you tend to lose a lot of, your savings. You lose in terms of working hours, all those kind of issues. And families struggle really when they've got such kind of disease at home. So
And talking about that incident, you were saying that he has breast cancer.
Yes, yes.
People tend to think that breast cancer is only it can only affect women, even men,
yes.
So it is important that people know about this disease. Of course, there's a statement here, Gibbs, from the Cancer Association of Zimbabwe. And of course, they are saying that they are joining the international community in commemorating World Cancer Day. And they are saying this year's commemoration is done under the following 4 overarching themes. The first one is healthy life choices. And they say empowering people to make health life choices and reduce the social and environmental risk factors for cancer. A reduction in tobacco consumption. Kunofanira kudzikiswa kana vanhu vasikadi kuita cancer. Unhealthy diet, alcohol intake doro iri. Obesity, vanhu vanofanira kuluza weight. And also obesity and cancer-causing infections and other known risk factors will significantly reduce cancer incidences. And they say about 50% of the most common cancers can be prevented through reducing alcohol consumption, healthier diets, and improved physical activity, and avoiding smoking. Saka vanhu vanofanira kupota vachimboenda kunomhanya-mhanya kuti vagwinyise mwiri. Of course, they also talk about early detection. Ensuring availability of services for early detection of cancer significantly reduces the national cancer burden. Early detection not only improves the cancer treatment outcome, but also reduces the treatment costs. Saka vanhu vanofanira kuti varambe vakangwarira. Ukangofungidzira kuti waita chibundu chausinganzwisise, ibva waenda kunana chiremba, madzimai anenge achizvibata-bata mazamu kuona kuti hamuna zvinhu zvakazvimba here, nevarume zvimwe chetezvo. Kana paine mapundu amusikunzwisisa pamwiri, zvakakosha kuti muende kunoona vana chiremba, nekuti chirwere chegomarara chinokwanisa kuti chinge chichirapwa. Vari kutaurawo treatment for all under-resourced health systems and lack of social protection in developing countries widens the gap in access to cancer services. And they are also saying vulnerable populations, including women and children, face barriers to access early diagnosis and treatment of cancer. In Zimbabwe, those who are not covered with medical aid services find it difficult to readily access cancer services, and some of them end up resorting to unproven herbal remedies. Vari kunzi vamwe vasina ma-health insurance vanopedzisira vakuenda kun'anga nezvimwe zvakadaro-daro, vachienda kunoedza-edza mishonga inogona kuti zvirwere zvacho chirwere chirambe chichikomba. Ndo rimwe dambudziko riripo. Quality of life, ndo zvimwe zviri kutariswa vari kuti paying attention to the emotional, mental and physical well-being maximize the quality of life for the cancer patients, their families and caregivers. Stigma and discrimination against cancer patients is still high. Kuti munhu kana atanga kuita cancer, kazhinji anotanga kuonda. Vari kuti iwo pane vamwe vanhu vanenge vachiseka vanhu vakadaro, kuvatarisira pasi. Nyaya idzodzo vari kuti dzichiri kuitika. And they are also saying it is this, of course, optimism, yes, we can philosophy that can enable our nation to win the battle against cancer. That there is from the Cancer Association of Zimbabwe. Gibbs.
And according to the World Health Organization, Blessing, among men, the five most common sites of cancer diagnosed in 2012 were lung, prostate, colorectal, stomach and liver cancer. So this is according to the WHO, right? So then among women, the 5 most common sites diagnosed were breast, colorectal, lung, cervix and stomach cancer. And then the WHO also adds that, like what we're saying, tobacco. Says tobacco use is the most important risk factor for cancer, causing around 20% of global cancer deaths and around 70% of global lung cancer deaths. And finally, it further says it is expected that annual cancer cases will rise from 14 million in 2012 to 22 million within the next 2 decades.
And I think we have our first guest, Gibbs. That is Dr. Brighton Chireka. He's a general practitioner in Folkestone, Kent. That is in England, Britain. Some might want to call it. Dr. Chireka, good evening.
Good evening, Blessing. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thanks for joining us this evening.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Gibbs, maybe you can fire away.
Yes, whenever somebody says Britain, what do you think of? London, yes. Dr. Chireka, tell us. We know that most people want to know exactly what cancer is all about. Can you give us your kind of rundown of the symptoms and all those kind of things?
Okay, yeah. I think thank you very much for arranging this. Today is the World Cancer Day, and as you, Blessing, was saying, you have just actually mentioned a lot of things that we are trying to raise the awareness. Well, as cancer, we know that it begins in the cells. And then what are cells? Cells are the basic units of the body of life. So what happens is that our bodies are made up of many types of cells. And these cells, they grow and divide in a controlled way and then they are needed to keep us in our body in a healthy way. And then when these cells becomes old or damaged, they die and are replaced with new ones. And this process occurs in an orderly manner. But then it's controlled by what is called the DNA, and then to control this whole process. But what normally happens that in cancer, this process is disturbed, and then these cells, they do not die. They continue to grow and make more cells and make more cells. These extra cells will form a mass or form a swelling, which is called a tumor. And then these cancerous cells can invade and destroy the surrounding tissue. For example, if it starts in a prostate, it can go to the bone, to the liver, to the lungs. If it starts in the breast, it can go into the armpit and go to the lungs and go to the brain. When we now talk about early detection, what we are saying that if you find a lump in your breast, you need to go to your doctor. Because if you delay, that lump can move, the cancer cells can move from there to the lungs and to the to the brain. This process is called metastasis. When cancer is metastasized, when cancer has moved to other parts of the body, the chance of surviving is slim. That's why you find out some people just fear when they hear of cancer. It's because many of our people, they present very late. When they present very late, they die quickly, and then people think cancer can always kill people. But no, if you do early detection and get treated, there's a high chance of being seen. Mostly, the cancer that has not moved to other areas can be treated and can be cured. That is the message that we need to let everyone know, that cancer, we can beat it. It's not beyond our control. It can be cured, but we need to do our part. What is it that we need to do? We need to present early to our doctors. The other thing is that before we even worry about having cancer, health lifestyle is the best defense against cancer. I will repeat this: healthy lifestyle is the best defense against cancer.
Thank you, Dr. Chireka.
No,
can quickly translate maybe.
Uwe kuluma lapha ke udokotela omkhulu udokotela ke uChireka sithi icancer ila kukuthi yelapheke nxa uhamba masinya uye kudokotela uyakwanisa ukuthi udokotela akubamba bonke lapho ngani sokule cancer khona kungaphi. So besithi ke icancer nxa ukuthi uyikhangele kuyabe ngazani ngamathumba abe mila lapha lalapha, kodwa ungayekelela elokho ekhulakhula agcina ngena umzimba wonke. Inkozo kuthiwa ke icancer igcina simetastasizer, sihambe iyabe singene emzimbeni wonke. So ke uthi ke ukuthi kunqabele khonapho umuntu kumele abone udokotela masinya. Abone udokotela masinya then sokulungiswa khonokho. So ke uthi kodwa okumele abantu bekuqhakathekise kakhulu ukuthi kumele badle kuhle. Ukudla impande yomzimba ngokutsho kwakhe.
Of course, for those of you who are just joining us, good evening, and this is Studio 7 Live Talk. And tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about cancer. And our first guest, of course, is Dr. Brighton Chireka. Dr. Chireka also is a columnist on newzimbabwe.com. He writes very interesting articles,
interesting indeed, yes.
Gibbs, and I think we'll convince him to contribute those articles on our page as well, because they are really beneficial.
Yes, already confirmed.
Oh yes, okay. So ask him to do the same. We can contribute those health articles. Dr. Chireka, tikutaura nezvechirwere chegomarara. Vanhu vangaite sei kuti vakwanise kuziva kuti pada vanenge ita chirwere chegomarara zvii zvavangatarisa?
Chirwere chegomarara chinouya nenzira dzakasiyana siyana, zvinoendana nemutezo unenge noti gomarara rinobata nhengo yemiri yedu inogona kungobatwa kana riri zamu kazhinji tinoona bundu. Saka bundu rese tinongoti kumunhu wese kwaona bundu enda kunoona doctor. Hazirevi kuti bundu rese inhuta kana kuti cancer ayo, asi tinongoti munhu wese enda kunoona doctor. Totarisa pacancer inogona kuita mapapu edu, zvoti munhu wese ari kukosora for masvondo matatu enda unoona chiremba. Ukaona uchipera uchiruza weight kuti uri ngopera miri unofanira kunoona chiremba uvaona kuti sei uri kupera miri wako. Ukaona uchirutsa ropa unofanira kunoona ana chiremba kuti sei uri kurutsa ropa. Ukaona uchiita tsvina neropa unofanira kunoona ana chiremba kuti sei uri kuita tsvina neropa. Ukaona dumbu rakazvimba unofanira kunoona kuti chii chiri kuitika. Zvinhu izvozvo ndo zvokuti haufanira kutomboverengera enda unoona chiremba. Asi meseji yandotaura ndeyekuti musafunga kuti zvandataura izvi munhu anazvo yatonhuta aiwa. Asi zvinhu zvatinoziva zvekuti chii zvinhu izvozvi ndo mamwe matangiro anoita kensa. Saka isusu kuti tikwanise kudzivirira tinongoti munhu wese anenge ari kunzwa zvakadaro ngaaende anoota se anoonekwa. Kana munhu ari kunzwa achitadza kumedza chikafu kwete zvekurwadzwa pahuro basi kuti chikafu chiri kuita se chikutadza kusvika mudumbu achikwanisa kufamba anofanira kuonana nachiremba kuti vaona kuti ingori infection here kana kuti pane zviri kuitika nokuti pane kensa yefood pipe yeesophagus iri kuuraya vanhu zvakanyanya nokuti vanhu vari kunonoka kuenda kunoonekwa. Saka ndo zvinhu zviripo. Asi nyaya huru iripo enda kutaura ndeyekuti pane zvinhu zvasingakwanise kuti tikwanise kuzvichinja. Zvakafanana nekuti kana mufamily menyu muine kensa kana kuti wachemberawo unogona kubata chirwere ichi. Asi chatinoziva ndechekuti pane zvatinokwanisa kuita. Ndezvipi zvatinokwanisa kuita? Madyiro nezvinhu zvatinodya ndo zvinoda zvigadziriswe. Tinofanira kuona kuti hatinwe doro, tarega kuputa fodya, hatikuyarohwa nezuva zvakanyanyisa. But kuvatema zvedu tinogona kuprotecta, but vazhinji ngatingwarirei kuti maskin cancer ari very common kune vechirungu, asi isusu vatemawo ngatingwarirewo kuti tisanyorohwa nezuva zvakanyanya. Not tinoitawo skin cancer, asi skin cancer vatema is big problem. And also tinofanira kuona kuti hatisi kuita miri yakanyanya kuita overweight, obese. Makare edu taikwanisa kufamba kuenda kuchikoro 2 kilometers 3 kilometers tichiita munda tichishanda. Asi nemazuva ano neyakauya good living vamwe takufamba nemota, takungodya zvinhu zviri processed foods. Zvese izvo zvii zvakutikonzera kuti tiite miri yakakurisa. Asi chinhu chinofanira kuti zivikanwa nevanhu ndechekuti miri yakakurisa, obesity, inokonzera iri associated, inokonzera kuti munhu uite bowel cancer, cancer yemudumbu, nepancreas cancer, cancer gland inobatsira kuproducer hormone inonzi insulin. Yokuti kana isingashande unoita diabetes, unogona kuita cancer yepancreas, unogona kuita breast cancer, unogona kuita food pipe cancer which is esophagus, ndokunge taita miri yakakurisa. Saka zvichireva kuti tikakwanisa kuredusa weight yedu, tikakwanisa kugadzirisa iyo muuremu hwedu, tinoona kuti tinoredusa zvakawandisa. Saka tiri kuti health style living is the best solution. Magariro nemaitiro nemadyiro atinoita tinokwanisira kuti tikwanise kudzivirira zvirwere izvi. Saka meseji ndeyekuti ngatidye zvakanaka, tikangoona chatisinganzwisise ngatione ana chiremba.
Aiwa, tinotenda Dr. Chireka, rambai zvenyu muri paRunare Gibbs.
Okhulunywa ngudokotela lapha uthi ungabona ulegazi nxa usiya ngaphandle uyazi ukuthi ungabe sulenkinga sokumele ubone udokotela. Uphinde ethi njalo-ke nxa ukuthi isisu sakho singani sikhukhumala ongamiyo, hambe bona udokotela njalo nje. Kodwa-ke uthi abantu bayenelisa ukuthi bayenze okuningi sibile okwenza ukuthi banqabele umkhuhlane lowo. Okunye kwangikhona nanku uthi-ke nxa lisenelisa linganathi utshwala. Utshwala siyakwazi ukuthi aluphambanisi kuphela ukuthi ungadakwa phela sukuchaya itoyitoyi susenza lezinye izinto, hayi uthi kuyalimaza umzimba. Bese kubuya-ke lokubhema uthi ukubhema lingahotshi kangako, lingahotsha kakhulu phela liyagcina lile cancer. Aphinde njalo ethi nxa sukhangela imizimba yabantu akumelanga abantu babe lo mzimba. Inkalakathelwana ukuthi uyenziwa yikudla kuphela suphongoba ngumuntu nje. So okuthiwa yi-obesity lokuyana. So uthi hayi-ke nxa ungani usiba njalo sokumele ukuthi u-exercise. uthi kudala ke blessing abantu babehamba yazi umuntu ahambe ezethi ya
Yeah.
kodwa these days uzokuthiwa ke ublessing udrive esuka lapho waya lapho
Yeah.
wasuka futhi so akuna exercise so uthi khonokho kuyafunakala ukuthi abantu be-exercise waphinda futhi wakhuluma ngokuthi ke ukudla okudliwayo lokhu kulalokho kuthiwa ngama-processed foods amathindi layo liwathandayo
Yeah.
kuzokubuya la khona kuyala amabhega enu layo liwathandayo nama-sandwich kuthiwani sandwich
Yeah.
khonokho ukuthi kuyahlupha khonokho so ke singazi ukuthi kumbe udokotela uyakuthi abantu badle i-natural foods
Yeah.
kumbe benzeni kazange akukhulume khonokho
Yeah.
engingazambuza mbayibani.
Of course, for those of you who are just joining us, this is Studio 7 Live Talk. And tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about cancer. And our guest this evening is Dr. Brighton Chireka. He's also a columnist on newzimbabwe.com. He writes very interesting articles that are a must read. And of course, tomorrow we are continuing with this program, with this discussion rather on cancer. That is on the Women's Forum,
Yes.
Gibbs. We also have people who have contributed on WhatsApp. There's Sifas who says the World Health Organization must offer free treatment for cancer like HIV, AIDS. Then Patricia says, well, it is a good idea to educate people about HIV, AIDS. People should be educated about cancers such as cervix cancer, which is now prevalent in young women. The high frequency of HPV, human papillomavirus, which is transmitted sexually, should be given attention to. With international superstars like actor Michael Douglas going on air testifying that oral sex resulted in him catching HPV, which resulted in him having throat cancer. People need to be made aware of the dangers of oral sex. The sudden increase in colon cancer due to fatty diets and preserved meats that have now hit the shelves of most shops should also be made readily available to the public. People have heard of breast cancer and prostate cancer, but people still have many myths about colon cancer, cervix cancer, and even throat cancer. Well researched there by patients. Tine muteereri wode kutanga mukoma Donald makadi. Aiwa, tiripo nhasi tiri kutaura nezvechirwere chegomarara kana kuti cancer. Kana muine mubvunzo kana muchida kuwedzerawo.
Ndingatova hangu nemubvunzo mukoma Blessing. Ndauti na Dr. Chireka vati nyatsotitsanangurirawo hawo.
Ndiwe kuti imubvunzo.
Mona ina hangu mubvunzo wandinawo ndokuti cancer iyi inonyatsokuonekwa sei kuti cancer utoti wega munhu utoti ungazoona sei kuti chinhu chigere chiri kutinetsa chicancer. Toti haisati yaisakabva kukomba zviya zvokuti yakuzoenda kuzvipatara. Kungosuspekta paipa unoona sei kuti icancer. Bozitawo hazvo zvakasiyana siyana zvakawanda zvimwe zvikafu. Vamwe vanoti kwai ukastrecha juice card dhati ndichiri nenge iri pajuice card vamwe vanoti ndinokonzera cancer. Zvangowanda zvimwe zvongotaurwa saka tiyazivi kuti chokwadi ndechipi nemande zvipi.
Dr. Chireka mukapindura here mukoma Donald vari kuti vangade kuziva kuti ndezvipi zvimwe zvingakonzera kana kuti zvekuti munhu angaone kuti ane cancer.
Mubvunzo makadii mukoma Donald? Mubvunzo wenyu wakanaka
chaizvo. Ndofara Dr. makadiko?
Tiripo kuri sei kumusha?
Kumusha gashe kunotamba mukoma.
Aiwa tinotenda. Nyaya iripo ndeyekuti zvinongodhipenda nekuti cancer yatikutaura ndeipi. Ngatitore semufananidzo cancer yemadzimai inonzi cervical cancer. Vanozoona sei kuti vanayo. Icancer inonetsa kuona, saka pachitwa inonzi screening. Saka kune maprograms ekuti saka muchiona kaiko kuZimbabwe vari kutaura kuti munhu wese wechidzimai anofanira kunge achienda kumaklinika achinotestwa kuti hapana here masigns ecancer iyoyi. Asi masymptoms anoonekwa nemadzimai ndeyekuti vanogona kuona kuti pese pavanosangana nemadzibaba avo vanenge vachidzidza.
Dr. Chireka, regai ndimbokubate muromo murambe muri parunare. Tiri kudzoka muri namukoma Donald. Rambai muri parunare. Unfortunately for our radio listeners, it ends here. But the good news is that we are streaming live. So go to www.voazimbabwe.com and press on Live Talk. This is Blessing Zulu.
And I'm Gibbs Dube saying stay tuned to Zimbabwe.
for those of you who are just joining us, good evening. And this is Studio 7 Live Talk. And tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about cancer because the world is commemorating World Cancer Day, which I think is commemorated rather on the 4th of February every year. Gibbs.
Yebo kambe Zulu kandaba lingalithola njani lapha likhona khona ngapho ke emakhaya so namhlanje ke Zulu sixoxa ngecancer ukuthi siyakwazi ukuthi imvukuzane sibe lomkhuhlane ongani uyasinda abantu abaningi kodwa ke kukhona lingakwenza ukwenza ukuthi lizame ukunqabela nxa lifuna ukungena kuhlelo khona manje sicela lisifonele kunombolo nanzi khona ngapho ke kodotito khona ngapho ke eChinoyi khona ngapho ke ePlumtree kumbe khona ngapho eSouth Africa katesi sicela lisifonele sixoxeni ukuze ukuthi silodokotela lapha lizambuza libuza ukuthi kambe icancer leyi ingenziwani ukuthi inqabelwe kumbe nxa ulayo ufone lawe sikhulume lawe nasi inombolo 001 202 619 2077 ngizayiphinda futhi inombolo 001 202 619 2077 asiqhubeke mfowethu.
Dr. Chireka enderera yenyu mberi mukoma Donald mutereredu wanga wabvunza iwo kuti munhu angaziva sei kuti aane chirwere ichochi chisati chanyanya kukomba zvii zvaangatarisa.
So tatanga cancer number 1 kumadzimai yemuromo wechibereko inonzi cervical cancer. Ndichizokorora kuti kana iri kutanga hapana masymptoms anombofiliwa nemadzimai. Ndosaka pachitwa inonzi screening yekuti vanofanira kupota vachinotorwa macells waya nanachiremba every 3 years or every 5 years kuti vaone kuti chii chiri kuitika. Asi kana ichinge yakuita masymptoms vanowanzoona masymptoms ekuti pavanosangana nemadzibaba avo vanogona kubleeda o vanogona kuona kuti izvi vasiri kunguva dzekuteerera dziye dzavasiri kumwedzi vanenge vachingobleeda. Vanofanira kuziva kuti chii chiri kuitika ichocho ende vamwe vanhu vanenge vanhu vechikadzi vanenge vasisateerera vanenge vasisaita kumaperiods nokuti vakuru vava more than 50 years vanoona vatanga kubleeda. Iye munhu wese apedza nguva yake yokuenda kumaperiods akangoona achibleeda haafanira kutomboignowa izvozvo because munhu kana wapedza nguva yako yekuteerera kuona wakuteerera uri kuma55 chichi enda unoona chiremba nokuti iyo isani yekutoona kunge cancer iripo. Saka ndo muromo wechibereko. Saka macancer anosiyana-siyana. Kana tichitaura yebreast tinenge tichitaurisawo kuti chii uri kubundu here. Tikatarisa yevarume inonzi prostate cancer iya tichitarisawo chii kuti uta maproblems here pakuita weight. Kuona uchingoenda kutoilet nguva zhinji, kuona uchiti kana unomhanya kana kuti wasvika unoita nguva uchigomera uchadza kubudisa weight yachona kana kuti usiku unomuka kakawanda unofanira kunoonekwa. Hazvireve kuti une cancer, unogona kunge une diabetes inokonzera izvozvo, unogona kunge ngori chii yeprostate yake yakangokura chete but haina cancer. Asi dzidziso iripo ndeyekuti ngatirege kuignowa masymptoms wayo, ngatiendeona nachiremba. Ende kana uchinge uchiita tsvina kuona kuchibuda ropa unofanira kunoona nachiremba. Sei uri kuita ropa ndo zvinofanira kuonekwa. Ropa anogona kunge ari matoti mapowers mahemorrhoids, saka hauna kupanika. Asi tinongoti ropa chete rangobuda kumashure ngarinoonekwa nokuti pamwe inenge iri chidhariyawo waita dysentery waitawo zvimwe zvirwere zvemanyoka izvi unofanira kunge unoonekwa nana chiremba kuti vazive kuti chii chiri kuitika. Kana kwatanga kurutsa ropa kana kuti kukosora ropa haufanira kuignowa. Zvinhu zvinofanira kutariswa izvozvo. Chikosoro chisingapere 3-4 weeks uri ngokosora unofanira kunoona ana chiremba. Cancer here kana kuti TB unofanira kuona. Ende kana une chirwere cheAIDS pane skin cancer yatinoziva inonzi Kaposi sarcoma. Kuona wakungoita zvidzanga kungoita skin chingoita nhema pacho unofanira kunoonekwa kuti haizi here Kaposi sarcoma. So zvakawanda zvinotariswa panzvimbo dzakasiyana. Asi meseji yatingotaura ndeyekuti ukangoona chinhu chisiri right kwauri bundu kana chii usariignowa, ona chiremba.
Aiwa, tinotenda mukoma Donald ndofunga mapindurwa.
Iwe ndapindurwa ndotenda Dr. Chireka. Pane mubvunzo wepiri wandinawo.
Okay.
Pane ndoda kubvunza ndo mazuva ano nyaya yanga ichikurumbira mumaredhiyo ndeyekuti yecircumcision yekuti varume vakasircumcise zvinorigisa haukura kuti murume ndione ngochiwedzera lodhi kumudzimai here kana kuti checha zvezvakamira sei mungambondijekesera pichana ipapo.
Okay, nyaya yekuti circumcision inoprevent sexual transmitted infection iri pakungoti chi foreskin yayo inenge yakakavha musoro wemutezo wababa inochengeta utachiona. Saka kana ukaita any contact nemunhu unobata zvirwere kana unotapudzira zvirwere. Asi kana skin ichinge yabviswa zvareva kuti hausisina munogara utachiona munogona kuwanda utachiona. Saka zvinoredusa izvozvo. Asi hazvireve kuti kana wasecumciswa wakuenda uchinoheva sex iri unprotected kwete. Zvinongotaura hazvo kuti machances ako ekuti ubate chirwere anenge ati reducike. Asi unobata chirwere zvinoneseka wasecumciswa. Asi tinoziva kuti zvinoredusa nokuti hausisina skin yayo excess iri kuchengeta zvirwere.
Maita basa Dr. Chireka, saka inini chinoleka kumaraini kunoku inyaya information yakabvoza havasi vese vanhu vanoenda kuzvipatara. Kuenda kuchipatara unenge wagwara, saka information imwe inenge iriko iri available panguva iyoyo inenge ichiita senoleka kusvika kuvanhu. Saka garai muchibatana nesimbi dzedu dzestudio 7 anangova blessing hatirashuwa yekuti information yazofamba zvakanaka kana mushandani.
We have to do that, and also I know Econet vari kumboita something ukatenga juice card vanotumirawo health information everyone is doing, but panongoda kungoti coordinate kusend a message. But as you can see, my channels aripo vari kuita basa. We are there, we want to help, so slowly tichasvika message inotenderera.
Thanks maita basa Dr. ndakutenda chaizvo.
Okay.
Tinotenda zvikuru mukoma Donald Gibbs.
Udokotela uyakhuluma njalo namhlanje ngibhisibile ngikhuluma labantu bachethi udokotela uthini. Usimzwile lapho udokotela uChireka bebuzwa ngujaha lapha akade ubaba okade secingweni esithi kukhanyazana abantu bakhuluma ngokuthi icancer kambe ngabe ivela ngaphi. Ukhulume njalo lokuthi icancer blessing ungayithola nxa ungasebenzisa iscratch card leyana elilotho so ukhanyazana hayi ngama myths la kunywa ngabantu. So ke udokotela then wasengena lapha esithi nxa sokhangela indaba yecancer leyi omama kumele ukuthi bahambe for screening nxa ungadlula iminyaka 3 kumbe 4 behlale besiya kudokotela khona ngale. Lokho akutsho ukuthi amadoda kumele ahambe, kumele lawo atshone sibili umuntu akwazi ukuthi uyahamba kudokotela ayehlolwa. Uthi nxa ukuthi ungaphuma igazi ongapheliyo ulokhu ubona liphonga uphumaphuma nje, hamba uyehlolwa ukuze ukuthi ukwazi ukuthi kambe ulani. So phinde wajula futhi wathi ngoba mama kulenye ongasingathi i-symptom engatshengisela ukuthi nxa umuntu sengasangena esikhathini kodwa ngaphonga ubona igazi seliphonga ukuphuma nje kungazani kungabe kulenkinga. So ke labo abangazani balenkinga enjalo nxa ungasangena emfuleni kodwa ubona ngazani sokunjani njani, hamba uyebona udokotela. Waphinda njalo wathi ke nxa sokubuya emadodeni la kulalokho kuthiwa i-prostate cancer. I-prostate cancer leyi ngokutsho kwakhe udokotela uthi kayangazani bakhona ungazani iyakwenza ukuthi ucine ukusiya etoilet ungapheliyo. Uyakufuna ukuthi uye esambuzini nxa uvuke kanenginengi ebusuku usiya ngaphi esambuzini. So nxa unjalo ke hamba uyebona udokotela njalo. Waphinda wakhuluma ngokuthi kule skin cancer ingani yahlupha. So khulume ngelanga ukuthi thina abantu abamnyama nje asinjengabelungu ukuthi nxa sokubuya ilanga sibe labanye liyabachisa okuzwayo, thina liyasitshisa kodwa lathi kuyasenza ukuthi sibe lenkinga. So uthi akumelanga sikutamele ilanga kakhulu, ngokutamele ilanga kakhulu yacina njani ule cancer. So uthi siqaphele khonokho. Then wasephendula umbuzo we-circumcision uthi nxa usoka laphana blessing uthi antu uyakhipha kompana okukhitshwayo, ungakhitshwa khona okukhitshwayo kuyareduce ama-chances okuthi u-infecte omunye wakho ngecancer ngoba kulalokho kuthiwa i-papilloma virus engazani uyayitransmitter iyengena khona ngale. So uthi hayi kuyenzakala ukuthi lakho khonokho kuyanqabela umkhuhlane lowo. So ke bengifuna ukumbuza ke umbuzo wodwa la ukuthi Dr. Chireka, in terms of foods that we're talking about, so what exactly should people eat?
Basic message there ukuthi what people should eat. We should eat more plants and less animals. What do I mean by that? I mean we should be more like vegetarian than having meat. So by so doing, that would help us to reduce our chances of getting these problems. So there are some foods which will make us become fat. So, for example, things like pork, bacon, fatty foods, fried foods, chips, all this processed food, and a lot of sugar in the drinks that we sometimes drink. And what people forget is that even basic water, we must drink enough water per day, just plain water. That's one thing that many people don't. People drink tea, coffee, and juices, but they forget to drink water. And also things like unprocessed foods, like having sadza mgaiwa, this processed meal meal, but actually mgaiwa is best, and vegetables is the best. Those that know fushwa that's the best things that don't get. And we should also have it's not a problem, but kuna vanhu vanenge vaine good living. Pane problem yekuti vanhu vanodya nyama every day. We should have actually at least 2 days dziri meat free. Dzatingadyiwo nyama zviri right izvozvo. And also pakudya ipapa zinofanira kunge uchidya regular meals and usingaite overeating. Nokuti weight kana uchiput on weight. There are cancers as I've mentioned. Breast cancer, cervical cancer, ovarian cancer, and bowel cancer, which are associated with being obese.
Ye, siyabonga udokotela bese. Mbuzile kwapano udokotela ke Zulu ukuthi kambe kumele lidleni khona ngapho ukuthi lingabe lo mkhuhlane lo. So ke udokotela uphendule esithi ke wangcono lidle ongani ibhida lidle ongani kuyizihlahla. Ngoba nxa lingadle inyama everyday kuyahlupha. So uthi dlanini ama vegetable ikakhulu nxa likhangela ukuthi inyama ingazani ingalenza ungani yalikataza. So uthi pork, ibacon kulokana esijayileyo ekuseni, ama french fries kumbe ekhaya kuthiwa ama chips. Yeah, ama chips. So ama chips lingabambi kangako kuzobuya ke ama drinks, ama minerals lawa, Coca-Cola singaqamba ibizo kodwa siyakwazi liyayithanda. Kodwa ke asitheni nje ama drinks linganathi kangako ngoba kuthiwa alechukela eliningi kakhulu. Kuzobuya ke uthi nathani into yi1. Uzothi kuthiwa kuyini? Amanzi. Pure water usijala amanzi nje usuqedile. Nxa usidla isithwala sakho isatha kumbe ngithi isithwala sibili esijilele sana esiqinileyo uthi ke dlana umgayiwo. So abanye benu lasithi sifuna dlana phela soft. Hayi uthi no lokho hayi. Dlana impuphu engazani igayiswe mbijana. And okunye futhi uthi ngcono abantu babele 2 days bengadli nyama. 2 days. No meat.
Gibzu collapse.
Hayi no nyakwalisa vele sengikho lapho ngoba sometimes nyama 20 lunch or vegetable. Yabo. Yeah.
That's good.
Blessing, the way I look at me, uthi labake. Yeah, uthi lidle lo mfushwa kakhulu sibili. Yeah, mfushwa uthi kuyanceda kakhulu. Yeah, kubeka futhi.
Of course, the message from Dr. Chireka, more plants, less animals. Healthy living will actually help in fighting cancer. Now, Dr. Chireka, let's talk about men. What we are reading from there's an organization here, the Zimbabwe Cancer Registry. It was concerned that prostate cancer was actually on the rise in Zimbabwe. At what age does this start to affect men?
Okay, prostate cancer is normally in Africans, I think it starts at an early stage, but I would say 50 years of age. But if you've got a family history of prostate cancer, the moment you get into 40 years, if you've got symptoms, you need to see your doctor. But mostly it's above the age of 50. So if you are less than 40, it's very rare to have a prostate cancer. But I would say anyone with symptoms, which I'm going to mention, symptoms such as for example, if you've got a weak stream, what is a weak stream? When you go into the toilet and you find that you have to stand next to the toilet seat so that to the urinary, because your urine stream is not strong enough. It's actually flow. When you try to urinate, it goes into your legs. Then that's a problem. And also, if you find that you go to the bathroom, you have to stand there for a few seconds without anything coming out. what we call hesitance. And then also when you find that also sometimes you wee or you pass urine and then you stop, and then you have to wee again, then it keeps on stopping, weeing, stopping. And then even you come out of the toilet, you feel that you haven't emptied. You go back, you do a little bit. You come out, you go back, you do a little bit. And then at night, you're waking 3, 4, 5 times, all these symptoms. If you're having these symptoms, then it's telling us that there might be a problem with your prostate, or it may be diabetes, but mostly it's the prostate. So go and see your doctor. They will examine your back passage. They will take a blood test, and they'll also send you for a scan. And then those will help us to diagnose whether we've prostate cancer or not.
Ye uyakhuluma njalo dokotela njengoba njilo namhlanje ukuthi ye silo dokotela sibili oqasisayo ukuthi ukuhamba njani. So uthi ke emadodeni lapha nxa ukuthi ule cancer kumbe ngithi imvukuzane nxa usiya esambuzini uthi ungabona ukuthi nxa ulahla amanzi laphana amanzi angikhona engahambi khatshana lapho kuwele eduze khonapho bokwazi ukuthi ungabe ulenkinga njalo bakubiza lokhu ke bathi yi-weak stream ukuthi akuhambi kahle. So phinde ethi kuphindwa kubizwa kuthiwa i-hesitance futhi ukuthi kumele ubone ukuthi nxa usiya khona ngale esambuzini ukuthi kuphumani vele okwenzayo kuyini. So ungabona ulama-symptoms zona lawa uthi hayi dinga udokotela bakuhlole ngoba yenelisa ukuthi bakhangele yonke ama-angles baba sebebona ukuthi hayi ongani kuyakuhlupha yilokhu. Uthi kwesinye isikhathi-ke kuyahambelana lokuthi umuntu engabe le-diabetes ngenxa yakhonokho ukuthi hayi amanzi lawo awakhiphayo kaphumi kahle. So symptoms enzima le ukuthi wakhe.
We have 2 messages on WhatsApp. Temba says cancer is now a disease that is affecting many ordinary people. Traditionally, it was a disease for the rich. The government must set up a national cancer council, and given the rise in cancer incidences in Africa, Vusa says one point to note is that there is need for government to introduce a cancer levy and consider cancer a national problem. Many victims of cancer are not able to pay medical bills on their own, since most citizens here are not formally employed. Dr. Chireka, Vusa is coming up with an interesting proposal here. There was, of course, and there still is, the AIDS levy that has been held by the international community as Zimbabwe's way of contributing to the fight against HIV and AIDS. And Vusa is saying, why not have a levy for cancer?
Yeah, no, we have to applaud our government for what they've done in terms of AIDS levy. And as you know, the infection rate was around 30%, and now it's around 14%, and it's going down, which is something that we never thought that we would achieve that. So, and then the success is being attributed to the AIDS levy, and I recommend that. And then coming to cancer, yes. Cancer levy is one of the ways of dealing with that. But to me, I don't think we need to have a disease levy all the time. What do I mean by that? That if you've got TB levy, cancer levy, asthma levy, malaria levy, I think every government has got a duty, and health is a right for everyone. So the resources must be allocated to make sure that we have got health for all. There are public diseases like cancer, which should be treated for free. So if we've got the resources in Zimbabwe, those resources should be channeled to actually, there are so many things that we can do in our country, like even leasing the land and people paying for using the land and the money being channeled to the Ministry of Health. The diamonds, the money from the profits from there going into the health system. So there are some funding streams that we can get the money and channel it to fight cancer. Because right now we are raising awareness. By raising awareness, people I know 1 or 2 people are going to see their doctor tomorrow, and they'll be told they've got cancer, and then the next thing they are told, we can't treat you. That's so sad. We don't want to raise awareness and then people don't get treated. We want to raise awareness and people go to the health institutions and get treated. So there should be resources, and no one should be allowed to die of cancer because they don't have resources.
A very good point there, Gibbs.
And Dr. Chireka, is cancer hereditary in a way?
Yeah, it does run in certain families. It does run. We know that, for example, here we run a clinic called breast cancer family clinic, the family history clinic. So, for example, if you've got a sister that has had breast cancer, a mother, a grandmother, then you have to go under severe critical surveillance. For example, you'll be having scans every year.
But how common is that?
So far, for the last 5 years, I think I've referred 2 people. I see I've got a list of 7,000 patients, so I've only referred 2. So it's not very common. Yeah.
Yes, siyamuzwa njalo udokotela uthi kona uhulumende kumele adinge imali ukuze ukuthi ancede ke uZulu njengoba ke kudula kakhulu ukuthi umuntu ayelephisa umkhuhlane wemvukuzane. Uphinde njalo watsho ukuthi icancer ilakho ukuthi nxa ulesihlobo esaba lo mkhuhlane lo kuyenzakala ukuthi lawe uthole lo mkhuhlane. So ke uthi hayi ngangcono ukuthi abantu ke bayihlolwa kakhulu sibili ngoba laba abangani balezihlobo ezinjalo bakhangeliswa sibili ukuthi hayi lesiwothi sikhangele ukuthi kambe kuhamba njani. So ukuthi kukhona ukuthi kuyenzakala khonako.
Tichimbotaura nechishona Dr. Chireka manga muchitaura kuti kana muri menyu muine mumwe akamboita chirwere chegomarara zvinenge zvakakosha kuti munhu wese ari muri imomo ange achiongororwa. Mungatsanangure kuti sei muri kudaro?
Zvikuonekwa kuti kana pane hama yako yepedyo kana kuti usisi vakabatwa chirwere chegomarara, and then motarisa kuti mbuya vakamborwara negomarara, amai vakarwara negomarara, zvikange zvanyanya kudaro paita kana kuti hama 2 kana hama 3, zvakureva kuti iwewe wachona kana uri unogona unenge une yatinoti high risk yekuitawo chirwere chegomarara. Saka kana wakadaro uchinge zviri nani kuti uite sei, kana ari breast cancer tinokuencourage kuti pamwedzi wega wega unofanira kuexamina mazamu ako kaviri pamwedzi, and also unofanira kutoenda kuna doctor unotaura, and then doctor iye anokurefer kumaspecialist wopota vachiita mascans inonzi mammogram. Vanogona kuita mammogram every year or every 3 years whatever. Vanokutsanangurirai kuti voita mammogram x-ray inoitwa kutarisa cancer mumazamu. Saka ndo yavanenge vakuita inoita kuti tinoshandisa kuscreena vanhu vanenge vane high risk, vanhu vane machances ekuita cancer ari pamusoro nokuti chirwere chedzinza ravo.
Now let's come to something that is perhaps prevalent in the African society, and that is traditional herbs, versus cancer. So give us your take on the use of traditional herbs to cure cancer. What do you think?
Yeah, it's controversial, the treatment of cancer with herbal medicine, but I don't dismiss herbal medicine and that they don't work. But the problem with herbal medicine is that we lack research. No one has done research. If I give you herbal medicine, I will tell you finish this bottle. I may tell you drink half bottle, whatever, but there's no dosaging. And the sad thing, we have seen people dying of renal failure because the herbal medicine has killed, they've actually destroyed their kidneys. So I welcome if the University of Zimbabwe is doing a research on herbal medicine. But at the end of the day, the modern medicine that we use comes from even trees, come from animals, come from different things. So I wouldn't say the herbal medicine are wrong, but I say that it's crude medicine because no one has actually done research, no one has refined the medication, no one has done a test to see if I give someone 1 bottle, if I give them 3 bottles, if I give them 10 bottles, will they die? There's no one who does that. It's a trial and error. But you cannot do trial and error on human beings. You kill people. That's the problem with herbal medicine.
Yes, siyawuzwa kakhulu dokotela. Wambe ungayikhatshana. So udokotela lapho uthi imithi yesintu blessing. Imithi yesintu ihlupha ngokodwa. Ukuthi ayila dosage. Uyapho ukuthi wanathi imbodlela nansi phambi kwakho. So kumele kumbe nxa unathe ezingu-10 uzusile. So uthi khonokho kwenza ukuthi abantu bebulaye izinso ama-kidneys. So uthi kungaba khona ukuthi kuyelapha ngoba imithi yonke siyinathayo naleyi ivela ezinyamazaneni njalo vela ezihlahleni kumbe emalubeni kumbe ngaphi ngaphi kodwa-ke uthi-ke akuhlupha futhi njalo ukuthi akula muntu osuwacubungulayo wabona ukuthi kambe khonokhu okhulunywa ngosiyazi kambe imithi yabo ime njani. So-ke akula research engani ikhona. So-ke uphinde wathi-ke abantu baqaphele sibili lokho ngoba kuyahlupha. So lokho kuthiwa i-trial and error kuyakhathaza kakhulu.
Talking about traditional herbs, Dr. Chireka, there are reports in Zimbabwe that some women are using these herbs, putting them in their private parts. What is the risk there?
Thank you very much for raising that issue, because I wanted to talk about that. That is a very dangerous practice, because we are noticing that people are getting what is called vulvar cancer, which is cancer of the structure on the vagina, the lips of the vagina, called vulvar area. So they will end up getting cancer of that, and it's very difficult to treat. So I would advise people not to do that, because putting those herbal in medicine inside them, they are actually, some of them are actually dangerous. They can actually make the cells change and they can become cancerous. So it's not a good practice to put those herbal medicine inside. I would advise people against that.
Uri kunzwa Gibbs vari kutaura chiremba kuti mune mamwe madzimai ari kutora mishonga yechivanhu iya vachiisa chibereko kuvari kuti zvinhu zvakaipa zvinogona kukonzera kuti vaite chirwere chegomarara, uye kana chinge chakomba icho chirwere chegomarara ichi zvinonetsa kuti vange vachinge vachirapwa. Nekudaro handi zvinhu zvinokurudzirwa kuti madzimai vashandise iyo mishonga iyoyi vachiisa kuchibereko kuzvinogona kukonzera cancer.
Yes, siyamuzwa njalo udokotela Zulu uyakhuluma sibili, nimlalele kahle. Ukhulumile sibili wabeka awakhe wathi ukufaka imithi phela bomama laba bayifakayo ngasese uthi lingakwenzi khonokho ngoba kuyazithi umuntu abe le cancer. So uthi khona vele ungaba le cancer yangikhona leyo ngasese ngale kunzima ukuze uyilungise kumbe ukuthi uzama ukuyicontrola ungazani kuyakhathaza kakhulu. So uthi lingasebenzisi phela siyasiza ukuthi akula abantolwane laba lani udokotela uyakusola khonokho uthi bantu sebenzisani ke ungayisikho lokho, otherwise kuyakhathaza lokho. So ungombuzo umbuzo.
I think just probably your last word, Dr. Chireka, on this day when the world commemorates the World Cancer Day.
Yeah, my message today is that I would like to, I was reading something about Joshua Nkobo, that he said peace starts with you, starts with me, starts with all of us. So to me, I would say cancer awareness starts with me, starts with you, and starts with everyone. So what it means is that we need a combined effort between the government and the public. So the government has to do its part, doctors have to do their part, nurses their part, and also the population has to do their part. But we have to raise awareness that, to say that it's not beyond our capability. We have to look at what is in our hands. Zimbabweans, we are resilient. We are capable of rising up. So we can do a lot of things. We are the ones who started using nurses. We have got clinics, and in the UK, we are actually using nurse practitioners to treat people. So in Zimbabwe, don't worry that there's a shortage of doctors. There are nurses who are competent, who are running in the districts, who are running in the rural areas. They can actually be equipped to do some of these screening can be done by nurses. You don't need a doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Chireka. Unfortunately, time is not our best ally, but we hope to invite you again shortly. But thank you so much for your time. Of course, we want to thank also our listeners, our callers, and of course, our team behind the scenes, our engineers and producers. Signing off, this is yours truly, Blessing Zulu.
And I'm Gibbs to be saying good night, Zimbabwe.